When you rise in the morning and look into the mirror, do you see a friend, or do you see a stranger waiting for someone else to come and define their worth? Too many of us hand over the pen and let others write our story, forgetting that the ink was given to us. Love, my dear, does not begin in the arms of another. It begins in the quiet chambers of your own heart. It begins when you can stand alone and whisper to yourself, I am enough. The way you treat yourself sets the stage for how the world will treat you. If you belittle your own spirit, you invite others to do the same. If you honor your soul, you command respect without ever asking. Do not wait for someone to call you beautiful before you recognize the beauty that already glows in your skin, your laugh, your scars, your silence. Do not wait for someone to validate your worth before you walk tall in the knowledge that your existence is proof of greatness. When you love yourself, you stop begging for crumbs of affection. You stop knocking on doors that were never meant to open for you. You stop settling for half-hearted love because you know your soul deserves a banquet, not scraps. Loving yourself first is not selfish, it is sacred. It is the foundation upon which every healthy relationship is built. Without it, every connection crumbles. With it, love flows freely, without chains, without fear. So stand in your truth, embrace your flaws, celebrate your victories. Love yourself so fiercely that when love from others arrives, it feels like a gift, not a rescue. Love yourself so completely that you are never afraid to walk away from what does not honor you, because the love you give to yourself will echo in every embrace, every friendship, every union. And when you choose yourself, you teach the world how to love you too. When you rise in the morning and look into the mirror, do you see a friend, or do you see a stranger waiting for someone else to come and define their worth? Too many of us hand over the pen and let others write our story, forgetting that the ink was given to us. You were born whole. You were born worthy. You were born with a light that no one else can dim unless you hand them the switch. Love, my dear, does not begin in the arms of another. It begins in the quiet chambers of your own heart. It begins when you can stand alone and whisper to yourself, I am enough. The way you treat yourself sets the stage for how the world will treat you. If you belittle your own spirit, you invite others to do the same. If you honor your soul, you command respect without ever asking. You cannot give away what you do not have. If you are empty, if you are broken, if you are desperate, you will enter love not with fullness but with hunger. Hunger blinds. Hunger will have you chasing anyone who offers you a morsel, even if it poisons you. But when you are full of love for yourself, you do not chase, you do not beg, you attract not because you need but because you overflow. Do not wait for someone to call you beautiful before you recognize the beauty that already glows in your skin, your laugh, your scars, your silence. Do not wait for someone to validate your worth before you walk tall in the knowledge that your existence is proof of greatness. You are not valuable because someone desires you. You are valuable because you are here, breathing, shining, rising every single day. Think about a house with no foundation. No matter how beautiful the walls, no matter how fine the furniture, no matter how exquisite the decoration, the house will collapse when the storm comes. And storms will come. Life will test your walls, your roof, your doors. But if the foundation is strong, the house will stand. Self-love is that foundation. It is the concrete under every relationship. Without it, every connection crumbles. With it, love flows freely, without chains, without fear. So many people enter relationships asking, will this person love me enough to heal me? That is not their work. That is your work. Healing belongs to you. Wholeness belongs to you. And when you come to love yourself first, you do not place the impossible weight of your brokenness on someone else's shoulders. You meet them whole. You meet them standing. You meet them not as a half searching for another half, but as a full soul ready to share the abundance. Love yourself enough to say no. No to what diminishes you. No to what disrespects you. No to what starves your soul. Because every no that you speak in truth is a yes to yourself. And every yes to yourself teaches the world how to treat you. People learn how to love you by watching how you love yourself. If you ignore your needs, they will ignore them too. If you silence your voice, they will silence it too. But if you honor your being, you demand honor without ever raising your voice. Loving yourself does not mean you will never be hurt, but it means you will never stay in places that wound you. It means you will walk away when respect leaves the room. It means you will refuse to shrink for someone else's comfort. It means you will rise again and again because you know your soul was not meant to crawl. Do not confuse self-love with arrogance. Arrogance is the mask worn by those who have not learned to love themselves. True love for self is humble. It is kind. It does not shout. It does not boast. It simply knows. It knows that you are enough without proving it. It knows that you are worthy without begging for it. It knows that your place in this world is already carved by the very hands of creation. Every day you are teaching others how to love you. Every day, with the way you carry yourself, with the way you speak to yourself, with the way you forgive yourself, you are showing others the blueprint. Do not hand them a blueprint of brokenness. Do not hand them a map of self-abandonment. Hand them a design made of strength, made of grace, made of fire that refuses to be extinguished. So many people ask, how do I find the right one? The answer begins here. Become the right one for yourself. When you are the right one for you, when you learn to keep promises to yourself, when you learn to celebrate yourself, when you learn to sit with yourself in silence without needing someone to fill the emptiness, then the right one recognizes you. Because wholeness recognizes wholeness, peace recognizes peace. And love recognizes love. Do not rush. Do not panic in loneliness. Loneliness is not punishment. Loneliness is a classroom where you learn who you are when no one is watching. Do not despise it. Sit with it. Let it teach you. Because if you do not learn to sit with yourself, you will drag your emptiness into another's arms and call it love. That is not love. That is survival. That is dependence. That is fear dressed as devotion. Love yourself so deeply that solitude feels like a gift, not a sentence. Love yourself so completely that the wrong hands cannot hold you for long because your soul knows the difference. Love yourself so fully that when real love arrives, it adds, it uplifts, it multiplies. But it does not complete you because you were never incomplete. The world will try to tell you otherwise. The world will whisper, you are not enough unless someone chooses you. You are not worthy until someone stays. Do not listen. The world profits off your insecurity. The world thrives when you doubt yourself. But you are not here to be chosen. You are here to choose yourself first, and in choosing yourself, you light a path for love to find you in its purest form. Be patient with yourself. You are still unfolding. You are still becoming. Do not rush the process of self-love, for it is not a switch to flip but a garden to grow. Water it with kindness. Protect it with boundaries. Nurture it with forgiveness. And watch how love, real love, begins to blossom around you. Because when you love yourself first, you set the tone for every relationship that follows. You teach others how high the standard is. You show them that your heart is not a place for games but a place for growth. You prove that love is not about chains but about wings. And when you stand in the fullness of your own love, no rejection can break you. No betrayal can destroy you. No loneliness can define you. You are already whole. You are already radiant. You are already free. So I say again, love yourself first. Love yourself enough to walk tall. Love yourself enough to demand respect. Love yourself enough to stay away from what dims your fire. Love yourself enough to forgive your past. Love yourself enough to believe in your future. Love yourself enough to live not as a shadow of someone else's approval, but as the blazing sun of your own truth. And when you do, every relationship you touch will rise to meet that light. There will come a day when you stand at a crossroads, torn between pleasing the world and honoring yourself. Choose yourself. Choose the voice within you that whispers, even when the world shouts. That voice knows the truth. That voice has walked with you since the beginning. That voice will not betray you. When you love yourself, you learn to trust that voice above all others. Too often we confuse sacrifice with love. We think giving until we are empty proves devotion. But what is devotion without preservation? What is love without balance? A candle cannot light the world if it burns itself out too soon. You must learn to burn steadily, not recklessly. You must learn to give from overflow, not from depletion. Loving yourself means protecting your flame even when others reach too quickly for its warmth. It is easy to love yourself when the world claps for you. It is easy when you are praised, adored, admired. The real test comes in silence. The real test comes in solitude, when the applause fades and no one is watching. Can you still love the person in the mirror then? Can you look at your reflection stripped of filters and facades and say, I am still worthy? That is self-love. That is the foundation. Every bruise, every scar, every wrinkle carries a story. Do not hide them. They are evidence that you lived, that you endured, that you rose again. They are not marks of weakness but of survival. Love yourself enough to wear them with pride. Love yourself enough to remember that perfection was never the goal. Authenticity was. When you love yourself, you stop performing. You stop bending into shapes that do not fit you. You stop shrinking your dreams to fit into someone else's comfort zone. You begin to walk in the fullness of who you are unapologetically. That kind of love does not ask for permission. That kind of love does not apologize for existing. That kind of love simply shines, and in shining gives others permission to do the same. There will be people who cannot handle your light. There will be those who mistake your confidence for arrogance, your boundaries for coldness, your self-love for selfishness. Let them. Their misunderstanding is not your burden. Your only task is to keep loving yourself, keep honoring your truth, keep walking with dignity. Because the ones who are meant for you will never ask you to dim your glow. They will stand beside it, reflect it, and together your lights will make the path brighter for others. Do not fear solitude. Solitude is not emptiness, it is sacred ground. It is where your soul speaks in whispers too soft to hear in the noise of others. Sit with yourself long enough to learn your own language, your own rhythm, your own heartbeat. Sit with yourself long enough to know that you are not incomplete when you are alone. You are not lacking. You are preparing. You are strengthening. You are learning how to stand so that when love arrives, it will not have to carry you, but walk beside you. Love yourself enough to dream boldly. Love yourself enough to step into places you were told you did not belong. Love yourself enough to fail and rise again, because failure does not diminish worth, it reveals resilience. Love yourself enough to refuse comparison, because no one can live your story but you. When you love yourself, you teach your children, your friends, your partners what love looks like. You show them that love is not desperation, not fear, not control. Love is freedom, love is growth, love is respect, and it begins within. Every time you choose yourself, you are rewriting the script of generations before you who may have forgotten their worth. Every time you forgive yourself, you are breaking the chain of shame passed down silently through families. Every time you honor yourself, you are planting a seed of courage in someone else who is watching silently, waiting for permission to do the same. This is why self-love is not just personal, it is powerful, it ripples. it multiplies. It spreads beyond you into every relationship, every conversation, every community you touch. And it all begins with one decision: to treat yourself as someone worthy of love. Do not be afraid to raise your standards. The love you give yourself sets the bar. Those who cannot reach it were never meant to hold you. Do not lower it to be chosen. Wait for those who are willing to rise. Because love that requires you to shrink is not love. Love that asks you to disappear is not love. True love will meet you at your highest and lift you even higher. If you have walked through heartbreak, if you have carried the weight of betrayal, if you have known the silence of abandonment, do not let those wounds define your worth. Do not let pain teach you to hate yourself. Instead, let it carve wisdom. Let it sharpen your vision. Let it remind you that even when others failed to love you, you still stand. And standing itself is proof of resilience. You may have been overlooked. You may have been underestimated. You may have been told you are too much or not enough. Do not carry those lies. Return them. They do not belong to you. Write your own story in bold letters of self-love and let the world adjust its gaze. There will be days when self-love feels heavy, when you slip into doubt, when you forget your own light. Be gentle then. Speak to yourself as you would to a beloved child. Be patient. Be kind. Start again. Self-love is not a destination, it is a practice. Some days it comes easily, other days it takes work. But every day it is worth it. Because when you love yourself first, you stop chasing love, you stop begging for it. You stop compromising your soul for temporary affection. You become the source, not the seeker. And when love comes, it comes to add, not to complete. And when you finally stand in that love, rooted, radiant, unshakable, you will understand why it had to begin here. In your own heart, with your own hands, with your own reflection. So I say to you, do not wait for someone to crown you. You were born crowned. Do not wait for someone to complete you. You were born complete. Stand tall in the truth that the first love, the truest love, the everlasting love must begin with you. Because when you honor yourself, when you cherish yourself, when you love yourself without apology, you set the stage for every other love in your life to rise higher, to shine brighter, to last longer. Love yourself first, and the world will learn how to love you right.